Hello everyone, Digfig here, and welcome back to another The Outer Worlds video. I'm feeling that mic is a little bit too close to my face. I'm gonna move back a little during my intro. I threw over the main quest, or not the main quest, a quest, the negotiate for the better wages and all that stuff quest. It says there's evidence in here that she is skimming. Interesting. So that's the black hole poster.
Nicely done.
Steal that. Personal files, hack bypass, Billard V. Elma's personal files are a morass of supply contracts, order forms, spreadsheets, and financial records. Carefully studying of her finances reveal that the past several years she has been slowly siphoning money for her operation budget into a personal account. The theft is cleverly hidden. Individual instances can be excused as rounding errors or mistakes or simple athletics. The sheer volume of occurrences, however, indicates deliberate intent. Oh, he was doing it. A fish and tank 23A are looking a little lumpy. If you're not going to make it in, that's fine, but you have to let me know so I can stop on top of the other doses. What? I don't know what it means by the fish are looking lumpy. We already need to talk about the Saltuna situation. I've had to let 4 batches rot in the warehouse over the last 2 months because we're not finding buyers. I know the situation with the board puts us in a tough spot, but we need to start thinking about how we are going to keep Stellar Bay afloat if we can't get sales up. Seriously, where are you? I've missed 3 shifts. They're getting ridiculous even for you. Okay. We found the evidence of her skimming. She's probably going to try and justify it away in a manner that makes her seem like a good person and me in trouble. Let's see. I don't really want to blackmail her.
Look, you can tell Catherine the new shipment will be ready when it's ready, all right? She's welcome to come up here and pack boxes herself if she's in such a hurry.
Take it easy. I'm just looking around. What are you talking about? Let's do...
Sorry. Seems I got my cables crossed.
That
Thought you were
happens.
another shakedown tough from Fallbrook. Hope you can forgive my temper. This job has been running me ragged lately. First, my autoloader foreman stages a walkout, and now my chief pescatological health manager is missing.
Your chief what?
Braxton. He's in charge of getting the fish fat, but also making sure they don't get too many tumors. He's a real wizard with pharmaceuticals, but he has creative notions of working hours. Comes with living in a free colony, I guess.
He'll come back eventually. You can't constrain a person's freedom. Don't you have rules about that sort of thing? If you say so, I'll find him and drag him out by his ears. We'll go with number 1.
I can't keep working double shifts either. Since you don't seem to be constrained yourself, maybe you could check up on him. He lives in the apartments.
I'm guessing
Tell
he's
him
the dead
Velma
guy?
said to get his lazy ass down here, or she might start noticing those extra drugs he's been taking from supply. Something else on your mind?
Who is this Katharina you mentioned?
Sublight boss out of Fallbrook. Handles most goods that come in or out of Stellar Bay. Has a mouth like a ground 6 spacer.
Does happen. You said Bertex have been stealing drugs?
Stealing's such a nasty word. Let's call it skimming.
Yeah, like you are?
And yeah, let's just say I've noticed the sterile biotics we use for the fish would get used a little faster on Braxton's shifts.
Awfully nice of you to not say anything.
We're not like those corporate towns where you get fined for sleeping on the wrong side of the bed. Besides, the Spacer's Choice stuff we use is cheap enough. And Braxton knows how to get the Saltuna, fat and mostly tumor-free. Unless you're here to tell me he's agreed to do his job again, I've got nothing to say.
Why can't you give him a pay increase? Oh, number
Tell him
2.
to complain to Catherine in Fallbrook, not me. Sublight's demanding more money for the same contracts. We're all in the same boat.
Why can't you give him his pay raise? And apparently I'm gonna hit the fan down here and it's gonna be really loud for y'all. My bad. They're hard workers, aren't they? Don't they deserve more compensation for that? Go with number 1.
Hard workers? They turn dials and flip switches. The machines do all the actual work.
It's true.
I'll wager she don't pay those folks that maintain the mechanicals decent neither.
Caleb and his crew have it better than anyone else around here, I'll tell you that much. If Caleb wants to keep this job, he'd better get back to it. I'm about ready to hire sublight contractors at this rate.
Oh, I saw your accounts. You've been skimming money for years. You can afford to pay more. Someone's going to notice your shortfalls before long. You're going to be held responsible. Let's go with 2.
Maybe so, but I bet you Caleb runs out of bits first. Then he'll have to come back. He says he's got a stash to tide his crew over. Could be he's all talk, but if the money's real, I bet you he keeps it at home. Near the diner.
Oh, I mean, I already stole it.
From your own people? That's low, man.
That's business. Someone's got to keep the lights on.
Saw your accounts.
Yeah, and did you miss the part where I'm working doubles to cover for everyone who decides not to show?
Ironic, isn't it?
I'm the one who keeps this place running. That money's mine, one way or another.
That sounds remarkably like Clegg's argument.
Fine. Tell Caleb he and his team can have their raise, but I need them back here immediately.
A little bit of blackmail never hurt anyone. It's not even blackmail. We're just keeping it real up in here. Where, I mean, you go and fucking steal from people, then fucking go off on other people. It's like, bring it down a note, ma'am. It is, not a viable argument to be stealing from others and then being mad that people are stealing. And I already stole all of his credits anyways. So he gets a raise, I get all of his saved up money, and no one gets ahead whatsoever. Corporation gets hurt.
Why don't you grab a chair? Sit a spell and revel with us.
No thanks. We need to talk about
Got
Velma.
an update for us? We can't
Velma was embezzling from him. She agreed on your wages in exchange for my silence. You got your pay
How'd you
raise.
manage that? Wait, never mind. If I question
I'll keep her
it, it'll
secret.
turn out not to be true. Besides, I never follow how you got Velma to part ways with a bit card of her own accord. As agreed, here's your compensation. Ain't a lot, but
Thank
I hope
you.
it shows how much we appreciate all
I
you've
already
done.
stole your credits, so it's fine.
Now me and my friends here better get back to work before Velma blows a
Pretty
fuse.
sure I stole his credits. I don't actually know if I did or didn't. Yeah, you guys should get back to work because I just negotiated y'all a sweet deal up in this mofo. So we are now. We can go talk to. What's her name? There's a few buildings here we didn't talk to. One is her. Kleb Robbins and Sanja.
Well, new business turns up at last.
Am I new business?
Celia, didn't I tell you our new statistics-based advertising model would be a hit?
That you did, sir.
How can yield improvements of 26.7% not quicken the pulse? How can 32% cost savings not moisten the loins?
That's creepy, buddy.
Often posed these very questions.
Clear my schedule. This newcomer has a meeting with me.
No, you have a meeting with me. Haha, it's very generous of you.
Celia, will you make a note of that for my self-review? Very generous.
Noted.
But not so generous I can't
That's
drive a good bargain.
kind of annoying.
Who sent you? Rizzo's, perhaps? Or Auntie Cleo herself?
I'm just looking for the information broker. I'm charting my with own, going where the wind takes me.
Hiram? Why, he's probably still out at Devil's Peak. Not that he's had the courtesy to notify me, at any rate. But if you're here for him, I suppose that means you aren't here for Saltuna.
No, unfortunately, I'm not. If I have to eat one more weird science project passed off as food in this sprat-fucked colony, I'm going to stab someone. What a beautiful answer. I could do both.
Now, there's no need to humor me. I'm used to this particular letdown.
Seems like you're having a rough time, Mr. Sanjar. Are you doing quite all right?
Oh, don't worry on my account. This is merely the latest in a long line of professional, erotic, and athletic disappointments.
Goals.
I had hoped that livening up our advertisements with enticing figures would draw the other corporations back to our bosom, but it seems we're back to the drawing board.
Yeah, you're gonna have to increase those numbers even more. What exactly are you hoping to accomplish? If you are free of the other corporations, why don't you bring them back? Why would you want to? Oh, okay. Sounds like a personal problem. Let's go 2.
Surviving alone isn't as easy as it looks. Thanks to the so-called hazard clause, Monarch has been cut off from the board's resources and protection for 10 years now. Now, we've kept ourselves in business by trading with individual corporations, but given the off-the-books nature of those transactions, such arrangements are precarious.
Yeah, I can see that. Sit back here and relax a little because we're doing a lot of dialoguing today. Are you tired of scrounging and scrapping by? Is that it? Why not embrace it?
You talk like Graham.
Freedom always sounds nice, doesn't it? It makes a rather pretty slogan.
It's true, but it is expensive.
If you sit down and tally up the costs, how you provide for yourself in the absence of aid, how you protect yourself from a hostile galaxy, it starts to lose its shine.
Exactly. Intellectualism fuels the train to mankind's future, but the tracks the train runs on are forged from practicality.
Mr.
It's
Vicar,
true.
I don't want to be rude, but I don't think that means anything.
Yes, it's as though the good vicar has plucked the very words from my brain.
Really good analogy. What do you mean to do about it?
Well, Mr. Nandi here has a rather ingenious plan to get MSI restored to the board.
On our terms, mind you.
Returning to the board is your only chance if you hope to survive here on Monarch. That doesn't mean it'll be easily achievable.
Indeed not. No worthwhile plan was ever simple. That's what I always say.
It's true.
And if our advertising scheme hasn't borne fruit, then perhaps it's time we took matters into our own hands.
The lady knows what's going on. Enough preamble. What's the plan?
It's a two-pronged approach. The first part involves seeing Stellar Bay properly defended.
You do seem to have a bit of a Revdon problem. Yeah. But how do you mean to do that?
With a Bolt 52 cartridge, of course. If you can get us what we need to rejoin the board, starting the Bolt 52, we'll be able to become one of the most productive and secure cities in Halcyon.
And you'll
I don't
have
know
a
what a Bolt
powerful
52
ally on the board.
is.
Oh, yes. I'm going to be up all night with this. All those blanks waiting to be filled, boxes waiting to be ticked.
Apparently I had
Control
a
yourself,
bit
sir.
cartridge on me.
Have you any idea how powerful this is? Corporations have been toppled with less.
How exactly is the data on the cartridge going to
What a
help?
question! Bureaucratic micromanagement is the only way anything gets done in Halcyon, and proper documentation is a key part of that. For our part, a bill of liquidation/transfer Form 52 will protect our holdings on Monarch by temporarily assigning them to a pass-through entity once we drop our bomb on the board.
Yes, finally the board will get there. What? Let me guess, a paperweight? So you do want to go against the board. Don't be ridiculous. Let's go with number 1.
Sort of. Really, we're just going to blackmail them into offering us a seat at the table.
But really, whatever gets you excited about the idea, it's definitely a firm middle finger.
I can get behind that. Tell me what you're planning.
I have reason to believe that one of the other corporations is operating on Monarch, illegally and in secret.
Mr. Nandi may be correct. If the masses learn that the board disregards their own ordinances, it'd give rise to dissent. MSI could use this information to their advantage.
If we can find proof, I can use that as leverage to encourage certain powers that be to accept our Bolt 52 and reinstate us on the board.
You sly dog. What does that mean for
If
me?
someone is operating here, then Catherine's almost certainly supplying them out of Fallbrook. Perhaps she could be convinced to tell you where they are.
I know how to make people talk, like so you know how well. I know how to make people talk.
You do. But as much as I love your can-do attitude and dangerous gravitas, Catherine handles all of our shipments. So it would be best if you could leave her in one piece. Is that how you people put it?
I'm not gonna hurt her. Watch it with the you
Of
people.
course. I didn't mean to make assumptions.
Jump at him.
Once you
Make him flinch.
subtly work out where this corporate facility might be, bring back proof of its operation. Maybe some nice letterhead. Or someone working there. That would do it.
Okay, you want me to like kidnap someone? Infiltrate a secret corporation base and kidnap the staff. Sure, easy.
A foolproof plan if I ever heard one. I'll leave the execution to you.
Oh, well, thank you. I do appreciate it. I found a review on your terminal in the arms building. I have a question on MSI in the good old days. I met Grim and the landing pad guard. Sure,
I
it's
see.
3.
And was his delivery of the MSI authorized greeting up to snuff?
He did a bang-up job.
Well, that's excellent. I'll see that your feedback makes it into his review. What else can I do for you?
I found your review on the terminal.
This has been my albatross. The great shame of my career. I give MSI everything. My work, my youth, my left kidney, and for years, I was a joke to them.
Yeah, your left kidneys.
One of the executives required a transplant. I thought volunteering
Lols.
to donate might improve my prospects.
Did it?
Apparently not.
It's true. Who cares what they think you're in charge now, buddy?
Scrap heap of a city, abandoned by the board and surviving only through the hypocrisy of our trading partners.
It's better than nothing. And you've made it work. That's more than anyone can say for those execs.
I hadn't thought of it that way. But perhaps there's something to that.
Positive.
Thank you
Think
for
positive,
that.
buddy.
Was there something else?
Questions
Then
about the
did I
good
keep
old
such
days.
meticulous notes?
Lols. How did MSI get kicked off the board in the
I've
first
asked
place?
myself the same thing many times, especially seeing as the legal mechanisms we employed were part of the board's own bylaws.
Do you mean that you initiated your own removal from the board?
Not intentionally, though that's technically true. For many
Lols.
years, this planet was home to as many corporations as Terra 2. But back then, it was known as Terra 1.
What happened to the other corporations? Terra 1, Terra 2, I see the board is the best. Put their best people on that one.
Really? I always thought they were refreshingly straightforward names. After all, the whole point of terraforming was to make them Earth-like.
Here, though, the results were mixed.
It's true, Terra 1,
And as
Terra
the
2,
other
I got it.
corporations began to tally their losses, they decided to pull out.
Seems wise.
MSI's leadership at the time certainly thought so.
And how did that work out?
Most regard Monarch as a lost cause. But there were others of us who saw an opportunity. The chance to improve working hours and conditions, to reform MSI from the ground up.
Interesting. How forward-thinking of you.
It's humane, but it's also good business sense. Exhausted, sick, and malnourished workers are not productive workers. Even a cursory review of the data bears that out.
It's very true.
I hope you'd treat them nice, whether it was good business or not, Mr. Sanjar. That's what being a community means. Treating people right, because it's the right thing to do.
Ms. Holcomb is our endlessly optimistic crew hand. It's good
She
for the
very
captain's
much so
morale.
is. Oh, thanks.
A noble thought, Miss Holcomb. Unfortunately, noble thoughts rarely sway board policy.
Yeah.
Anyway, we learned of a loophole in the corporate bylaws that would allow MSI to claim ownership of the entire planet once the other corporations pulled out, creating the perfect environment for us to enact these new reforms.
Use the boards and tools against them. That's clever.
That's what I thought. But the senior executives laughed in our faces and insisted we'd be relocating to Terra 2 along with everyone else.
Yet here you are.
Yes, some of us stayed behind, and as the most senior executive remaining, I ended up in charge of what was left of MSI. I moved forward with our planned reforms, as well as our strategy to assume ownership of the planet. Yet not long after I renamed it Monarch, the other corporations dislodged us from the board and began an official campaign to paint us as lawless savages.
Yeah, I was kind of witness to that one. That's low even for them, but why would they do that?
I don't know. Everything we did was legal and above board. We followed their rules, and yet they still found reasons to declare us outlaws. I do think
because the rules didn't work in their favor.
Body like the board. Something that keeps us from anarchy, but I dearly wish it functioned differently.
Yeah, it does happen. Why exactly do you want back on the board? What's this hazard clause? I'm curious what the hazard clause is.
It's a legal provision that gives the board the authority to cordon off any planet or location that it deems dangerous.
There's so much dialogue.
What happens to the folks stuck on the wrong side of dangerous?
Well, I'm afraid the welfare of a few hundred people is too minor a figure into the board's risk assessments.
RIP. And they've invoked it on Monarch.
Yes, making all of MSI criminals in the board's eyes. Rather hard to run a business that way.
Why exactly do you want back on the board?
Why wouldn't anyone? They own nearly all the resources and infrastructure in Halcyon.
Without the board, chaos would overtake the system. Working within the established order isn't a principle to snub one's nose at, Captain.
It kind of seems like it is.
The board is to be part of the colonial community, and being cut off means slow strangulation.
They've threatened you pretty roughly, or they've treated you pretty roughly. Is it worth going back to that?
I'm not a man to put pride before progress.
It's good of you.
If membership on the board
wisdom.
can ease our hardships and provide us with opportunities, then that's the path I mean to pursue. Besides, I'm hopeful that additional leverage on our part will allow us a more equitable relationship.
Make that money. Good for you. Force them to the bargaining table.
I've discovered it's much easier to negotiate from a position of power. And I don't mean to leave MSI or its people at a disadvantage. My hope is to maintain the reforms we've managed here, and who knows? Perhaps once we're restored, we could spread them to other corporations.
That would be nice. You don't think to see much of Kalam.
He and his followers call themselves the Iconoclasts. Lawless anarchists, all of them. If anyone on Monarch deserves the reputation the board's pinned on us, it's them.
I will admit, I am keen to meet their leader.
Well, be careful what you wish for. Graham has a habit of ruining everything, and everyone around him.
I'm curious about him too. You've got some strong feelings on the matter.
I'm trying to build something here. They only want to destroy things, and they risk ruining Monarch for all of us. It isn't just that they drain our people and resources. Every radical act they commit cements Halcyon's image of us all as destructive rebels and pushes us further from the rest of the colony.
That image is very delicate.
He's lucky the board doesn't take him seriously enough to keep more than a few UDL gunships patrolling Monarch.
An Earth Directorate assault cruiser would change his tune. It's almost a shame we haven't seen one around Monarch in a long while.
I want to talk to you about something else. We are done. That conversation. Good talk, my friend. A long talk, but a good talk nonetheless. I already did everything in there. Now we are back out here. What else was there in this area? Actually, you know what, guys? We're out of time for this episode, and I really do appreciate you all stopping by. The support's been absolutely amazing. And as usual, if you enjoyed this episode, appearing above me here, around me here, there should be a whole bunch of episodes just like this one. And if you like some of those, think about liking, subscribing, commenting, hitting the notification bell, watching all my content front to back to really help my analytics and be an awesome member of the community, guys. And I will see you in the next video. Take care.